Saturday, May 1st, live from Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. It is an all-Mexican extravaganza as we begin the Cinco de Mayo holiday on May 1st in our main event of the evening. A matchup between two Mexican heavyweights, former unified heavyweight champion of the world, Andy Ruiz Jr. will match up against Chris Arreola in our main event. Now, on today's Zoom press conference, we are going to be hearing from the fighters that'll be competing on the undercard. It'll be Fox PBC Sports pay-per-view Saturday, May 1st. We begin the night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. The pay-per-view undercard begins at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. It'll feature former world champion Omar Panterita Figueroa Jr. going head-to-head against Abel Ramos in a 12-round welterweight matchup in the co-main event. Also, sensational undefeated super welterweight standout, the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora, who is making waves at 154. He will put his skills to the test against the hard-hitting and battle-tested Jorge El Demonio Cota in a 12-round matchup. To begin the pay-per-view at welterweight, it'll be rising welterweight sensation. He just turned 20 years of age. Jesus Ramos Jr., who incidentally happens to be the nephew of Abel Ramos. He'll match up against the U.S. Olympian Javier Molina in a 10-round matchup. Also, Fox PBC Fight Night will precede the pay-per-view with the card headline by WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Erislandy, the American Dream Lara, as he will take on Thomas Lamana for the WBA Championship in the broadcast beginning at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. The event brought to you by TV Promotions. Tickets are on sale and can be purchased at AXS.com. Dignity Health is going to open it up to a limited amount of fans following all local and state health guidelines. Now, when it comes to promoting big events, this man has been there, done that. He's one of the hardest working men in boxing. He is one of the most brilliant men that we've ever seen in the sport. Please welcome the president and my dear friend of TGB Promotions, the incomparable Mr. Tom Brown.
Gotta love Ray. It's great to hear you say also tickets on sale. I love that. So great to be back doing that. But I just want to say we have a lot of fighters to get to today. So I'm going to make this pretty quick. I'm really excited about this pay-per-view undercard. We have 3 great all-action toss-up fights. You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about top young welterweight prospects, with Jerome Ennis fighting this week against Sergey Lipinets. There just was Virgil Ortiz just coming off a big win recently. And I just want to tell you, keep your eye on this kid, Jesus Ramos. He's 20 years old, 15-0, 14 KOs. He's stepping up, opening the pay-per-view card, taking on his toughest opponent to date, a veteran 2008 U.S. Olympian, Javier Molina, in a 10-round welterweight bout. And then we move into another top young prospect with the 23-year-old Sebastian Fundora taking on another tough veteran in Jorge Cota in a 12-round super welterweight bout. And then the fight I'm personally really looking forward to is the semi-main event with Omar Figueroa Jr. taking on Abel Ramos in a 12-round welterweight bout. And again, I said this before, but I believe it's going to break out to be a Mexican-style Gotti-type word fight. So again, we have an outstanding card from top to bottom. I'll turn it back over to Ray here to get things started and introduce the fighters.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom Brown of TGB Promotions, always working so tirelessly. And we get ready for our opening matchup on the pay 9 Pacific time, Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. I'm really excited about this fight. We're going to talk with the man, 22 wins, 3 losses, 9 wins coming by way of knockout, 31 years of age from Norwalk, California, 2008 U.S. Olympian from a boxing family. Before the pandemic hit last year, he was on one of the last cards with full attendance. He fought on the undercard of Wilder Fury #2 in Las Vegas. Actually picked up a unanimous decision victory over Amir Imam before dropping a fight against Jose Pedraza in his last time out. Battle-tested, intelligent, certainly well accomplished. Please welcome Javier Molina. Javier.
What's up, Ray? How's it going?
Good, good, good. Can you just tell us how you're feeling heading into your matchup against Jesus Ramos Jr.?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. We've been working hard in the gym. We know we got a young, tough opponent in front of us. 15-0, 14 knockouts. So, I mean, we know it's not going to be an easy fight, but at this point in my career, I don't expect to get any easy fights. I had a tough loss in my last fight. It wasn't the best night for me, but I mean, when I got this call, I felt like this is the type of fights I need to get back to where I want to be.
Well, thank you very much, Javier. And now let's talk about the man who was going to be standing across the ring from you on Saturday, May 1st, as we begin the pay-per-view. 15-0, 14 knockouts, 20 years of age, from Casa Grande, Arizona, the young nephew of welterweight contender Abel Ramos. He scored 5 straight knockout victories, including Jesus Borroques in February. Young man, I've known him since he was 18 years of age, wiping out his opponents, fan-friendly style, doesn't like to allow guys to eat a few rounds with him. Please welcome Jesus Ramos Jr. Jesus.
Hello, Ray. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Can you just tell us how you're feeling?
I'm feeling ready. Like you said, this is the toughest tape to date for me. And I mean, Javier Molina, he's a great boxer. Growing up, I used to watch his movie a lot. Born and bred. So now for me to be fighting him, it's something crazy. But like they say, it happens, and I'm more than ready. I feel like I'm ready. On paper, it seems like the toughest test to date. But I've been in the ring with world champions. I've been in the ring with guys like Terrence Crawford, Maurice Hooker, Robert Brandt. So I've seen it all, and I feel like I'm ready. I feel like this is the right step up, and I can't wait for May 1st.
We are very excited for the matchup, and now we're going to turn it over to the media. If you have any questions to ask the fighters here with Jesus Ramos and also Javier, make sure to go ahead and raise your hand. So by all means, we want to thank the media that are on the call to join us. So we'll turn it over to the media, and also Andrew Roberts from Swanson Communications.
Thanks very much, Ray. As Ray mentioned, for all the media that are on, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions for the fighters, please hit that raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start it off with Mike Rosenthal. If you could please, Mike, bear with me a second. Kelly, well, little technical difficulty here. Kelly, if you're on, could you please allow Mike to ask a question? At the moment, I'm having some difficulty with that.
Go ahead, Mike. You're good.
Okay, you can hear me, guys? Excuse me. Hey, thanks for taking the time. Question for each guy. Jesus, obviously you're not looking past Javier Molina, which would be a bad idea, obviously. But a lot of people are asking, this young guy is so hot. When is he going to get in with a top 5 guy, a top 2 or 3 contender? Do you have a timetable when you want to do that?
Yeah, like you said, I can't overlook my opponent for May 1st. But I think that's what I've been doing. I think I've been stepping up each fight. And this Javier Molina.
We're good.
And Javier Molina, he's a big step up, and I feel like if everything goes right, May 1st, we're gonna continue to do that, stepping up little by little. I feel like I want to be world champion at 21, so I feel like I'm on the correct path. I'm fighting the right guys. Like I said, Javier Molina, he's a big step up. So I think as long as I keep doing that and doing things right, eventually it'll come by the time I'm 21.
Okay, well, follow up. Obviously, you're getting all these knockouts. Do you even think about knockouts when you're fighting? Like, I want to knock this guy out, or you just go in there and just doing what it takes to win?
Yeah, correct. It just comes naturally. I just set my knockouts out. I set them up. I work each round. And if it comes, it comes. But if it doesn't, I'm always ready to go the full limit. And that's the way it's going to be May 1st as well.
Javier, you mentioned the last fight against Pedraza. You said you weren't at your best. You've had time to reflect on that. What do you think went wrong in that fight? Because you had so much momentum going into that fight, and it must be really disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think just the whole, just the beginning. I think I just was off, and I think I just let everything get to me. I mean, I was impatient. We know the stuff that happened, but I mean, it sucked. But I mean, I'm glad I'm getting another opportunity to get where I want to be. Like I said, I know we got a tough opponent with Jesus Ramos, but I mean, we're training hard and we're getting ready, and we're gonna go out there and put on a show.
All right, excellent. Thanks very much, Mike. Our next questions are going to come from Carlos Toro. Carlos, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, the media. First question for Jesus. Obviously you have been on this great run starting out in your career, but you've only fought once past the fourth round. You kind of view Javier Molina, who's on paper the biggest challenge of your career, as that type of fighter who can challenge and push you into some uncharted territory and allow you to show elements of your boxing skills that you perhaps may not have much of a chance to show off otherwise.
Yes, of course. I feel like he's that opponent. He's gonna bring the best out of me, and I hope for that fight. I hope for a fight that's gonna go past the fourth round, and hopefully I can show you what my true talent is. I feel like a lot of people classify me as just a knockout artist, but I've seen what I can do in the ring. I've seen what I can do in sparring. And hopefully, like I said, with this fight, I can demonstrate it in an actual fight.
Quick question for Javier. Javier, you've fought you fought the last couple of years, between 140 and 142. Now this being a true welterweight fight, how much is that kind of getting to fight back at welterweight going to help you as far as not having to cut all that weight? Do you feel like that's more of your natural weight, having fought at both of those weight classes in the past?
Yeah, I actually feel like eventually I was going to go back up to 147. I had most of my fights at 147, and then my last, 4 or 5 fights I had at 140. But I was obviously staying there because, I felt like I was getting close to a title shot. I think with a win over Pedraza, I would have been there to fight for the title. So I was staying at 140, but I felt like eventually the move to 147 was inevitable. So, now that I got this opportunity, we're going to be fighting 147, and I feel great.
As far as the mentality that comes, coming off of a loss, like you've been able to bounce back from losses very, very well. Can you sort of walk us through the mental adjustments that you have to take, sort of have to readjust yourself, going back to the drawing board and sort of get back on that horse and go back and try to get back on a win streak? Yeah,
I've been in worse positions than I am now. I've been doing this my whole life. I said there was a time in my career where after I lost to Jamal James, I went like 2.5 years without fighting, and I couldn't even get a fight. So right now, I feel like I'm in a way better position than I was then. Like, unfortunately, I had a tough loss my last fight, but I stayed in the gym, kept working hard, and thanks to TGB, PVC, and everybody that gave me and my manager Sam gave me this opportunity to get back in there and be able to showcase my skills.
All right, excellent. Thanks very much for your questions, Carlos. Our next questions are going to come from Steven Carreño. Steven, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. First question is for Javier. Javier, Jesus said that he, kind of grew up watching you and you kind of smiled. What does it feel like to kind of, you're a relatively young guy yourself, but to have guys already kind of, the younger generation, I guess you could say, kind of coming after you at this point?
Yeah, no, man. I was like, man, and when he said it, I felt older for a little bit. I was like, man. Yeah, but now it's cool, man. Like I said, I don't know Jesus personally, but man, I got nothing but respect for him. But obviously, when we're in the ring, it's a different story. But I've been seeing his fights. He's a good fighter. But yeah, I've been doing this since I was 7 years old, 31 now. So I've been doing this my whole life. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
And Jesus, question for you, man. sparring those caliber guys like Terrence Crawford and Hooker, how do you feel that's kind of prepared you for this next level in your career? And how did those sparring sessions go with Terrence?
They were certainly a great experience. You know, I feel like it gave me a boost of confidence in each of my fights. You know, because I've seen how the champions train. I've been in there with champions, and you know, it's mainly that, the confidence. And you know, sparring Crawford was a different level. It was something extremely crazy. You know, just to be in there with, he's considered to be the pound for pound #1. So it was crazy, but it was real intense. You know, sparring Terrence Crawford, and just learning from him. It was the best thing that's happened to me so far.
All right, great. Thank you, Steven. Our last questions for Jesus and Javier are going to come from John Cudney. John, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Oh, hey guys, thanks for taking the time this afternoon.
Yeah, no problem.
So for Jesus, so from my perspective, this is a pretty substantial step up. So I'm just wondering how that has affected your preparation for the fight. Has this camp felt different? Did you do a different amount of sparring? If you can say anything about that, or, you know, have you just had, you know, high level camps all along and this is just the next fight?
Correct. We've had high level training camps. We always have high level training camps. I always prepare as if I'm getting ready for a world title fight. You know, I don't take anybody lightly, and that's the same case for Javier Molina. And I mean, a lot of people consider him my toughest test to date, but like I've said before, you know, I feel like I'm ready, and I feel like I'm ready because of those training camps, because I've been through those high level training camps, and this is just another fight.
Okay, thank you very much. And Javier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I said, I view you as, you know, as a pretty, you know, tough fight here. I mean, this is good matchmaking. So I just want to know for you, if you can talk about what a win here would mean for your career, and, you know, your motivation coming into the fight to pull off that win.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this my whole life, and a win over Ramos just gets me to the next level, closer to a world title, which has been my goal since I turned pro. I mean, I turned pro when I was 19 years old. So, I mean, obviously, I mean, we've been working real hard. Training has been going great right now. They gave us this opportunity, and I mean, we plan on taking full advantage of it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for both of you. I'm expecting a great fight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, before we go ahead and let you gentlemen go, if you guys want to say something as well, obviously we're going to be celebrating, you know, Cinco de Mayo on May 1st, this all Mexican extravaganza, Fox Sports, BBC pay-per-view. But can you guys say a few words in Spanish as well? We'll start with Javier first.
Gracias a toda la gente, de todos los latinos por el apoyo. No se pierdan la pelea, que se va a poner buena. Gracias.
Jesus?
Gracias a toda mi gente. Gracias por todo el apoyo hasta el momento. No se pierdan esta pelea contra Javier Molina, una pelea bastante interesante. Dos mexicanos, una pelea que va a ser muy interesante, ¿no? No se la pierdan. Va a haber mucha acción. Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you very much to both Jesus Ramos Jr. and Javier Molina. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now we transition to a matchup at 154 pounds. This man with the record of 30 wins.
Right, gotta have him hang on.
Oh, we're waiting for them to connect. But what I'll tell you
Let the other two go.
Okay, so thank you very much to
Thanks,
Javier.
guys.
Thank you, guys.